we are back. Welcome inside the Football Man Cave. I am Ian and this is Lovey. How are you, Lovey lad?
I'm good, mate. I'm alright.
What have you been up to? I love asking you every week now just to see what you've been up to.
It does me head in when you ask that question. I just think it's just proper boring chat.
How would you open a podcast up?
How would I open a podcast up?
Yeah. What would you say to a person? Without
know.
saying.
Do you know what?
How are you doing?
I just get straight into it. This is me. This is him. Right. What we're chatting about. Get straight into it. Do you know what I mean? The weather's getting fucking freezing.
It's absolutely dead, isn't it?
Yeah, horrible.
Been bashing FIFA?
I have been bashing FIFA. I can't wait to talk about it a little bit, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick, obviously we're going to be talking about best careers we've ever had.
Yeah.
I've gone from United to Barcelona. Now in my Jose Mourinho career.
Oh, right, so we're not going to be talking about that as a segment today?
No.
Alright, okay. So I'm going
to go a bit left field.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So I said,
you've gone Barca. You've gone to Barca.
I won everything at United.
Yeah.
Literally everything, every single cup we could over 2 seasons. But I nearly got attached because I brought a lot of youth players in, and Ronaldo retired, so I found the regen, brought him in, and then I was like, oh no, but I need to move on, and so I was refreshing the jobs constantly, and I think it was just Germany and England, and then I refreshed it. I didn't know you could just keep going back and they give you different jobs.
Yeah.
Barcelona come up mid-table. I think they were about 9 points, I think, off Atletico Madrid. The squad was shit.
Yeah.
Like a bar in about 3. I think they had Sancho, De Jong, and there was another one in the 90s. Everyone else were like low 80s, 70s. Because obviously Barcelona, not that good, but you've basically got Middlesbrough's old fucking forward line, haven't they now?
Pretty much, yeah. With Adam Traore and Braithwaite in the team.
So
and then they get relegated.
Yeah.
Traore went there while he was in the Championship.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So so I took over him anyway. I'm smashing it.
Oh.
Yeah. We had a big debate over the 4-3-3, didn't
Mate,
we?
This is it. Well, 100%. I think if you're taking over a team, it doesn't matter if it's a computer game or it's real life. It does not matter if the philosophy of the club it's like if you take the Atletico Bilbao job, which would be an unreal FIFA to do. If you take the Atletico Bilbao job, you can only sign Basque players. That's it.
It's impossible in FIFA, isn't it?
Well,
you just have to sign Spanish players only.
No, because you could all you'd focus on is your youth academy. That's it. All your money would go on wages for players.
Yeah, but to scout your youth academy, you'd have to get Spanish only players.
Yeah. But they'd be classed. You'd class them as Basque, wouldn't you? Because they're coming from where your Spanish players are. But it's doable. But what you tried to do was go against the philosophy that made Barcelona
great. Top of the league by 5 points into the round of 16 at the Champions League. I've just won some random cup I didn't even know existed. Super Copa or something like that.
Mid-season cup. It's their charity shield pretty much.
Right, so I beat this.
But it's a knockout. So
just semi-final, final.
Yeah.
I played some non-liga.
Do you know what? A non-liga.
Well, I'd never heard of them. Fundamentalista.
Yeah. So what it is the winners and the runners-up of the cup, the Copa del Rey, play against. They go in it, and then first place and second place in the league go in it. And then you do knockout and then the final. Yeah. And they usually play it in Qatar or somewhere so that fans get to see star players playing for a cup or whatever.
Well,
and it's during their.
Just won that.
It's during
in January.
Yeah, it's during their off season.
I had.
But no, first before you start to go on, you try to change Barcelona's legendary 4-3-3 formation to a 4-1-3-2 or a 4-2-3-1, whatever the hell it was, and he was adamant that I'm the manager, I've won all this, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They should just do that. Make the cart managers, Barcelona as a club, cart a manager as soon as they change the formation. Yeah, but you've got 4-3-3 though.
Technically.
It's 4-3-3.
It's like a 4-4-1-1, because I don't like right and left wingers up high, I like in mid. Right. So I brought them two down in between your mids, based on line with your centre attacking midfielder.
Is he still free at the top?
No.
So
yeah, I've basically, if you look at it, it'll be a 4-2-3-1.
So it's a 4-2-3-1 you're playing with them. Yeah, mate. In real life, you'd have got sacked.
Yeah, well.
Even if you would have won something. Yeah, well.
The confidence is sky high until they get to end of the season where they go,
Yeah,
Well, you've won everything, but you've still not won that one game.
Well, it'll be you've won everything, but you've not you're not playing 4-3-3, so we don't want you. I remember Holland do it as well. The Holland national side.
Yeah.
I can't remember what manager came in. He came in and he just went like that. Yeah, what are you doing? Playing 3-4, playing 3-4-3. We're 4-3-3 all day. Johan Cruyff, don't mess about.
It's
like
mad,
Ajax said the same.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad.
Every club that has had Johan Cruyff, he created the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Go with that. My career is pretty decent. We finished the season, so I think last time we chatted, I didn't only survive, did I? I finished quite well.
Yeah.
So I've
overachieved, didn't you?
Yeah. So I've done the next season. I got into Europa League places. So I've got European Cup now.
Yeah.
And we've made 68 million to spend. I got from nothing. What did I have when I first started? 1.5.
You were applying your own spending, weren't you, each week?
Oh mate, I've upped my salaries now, so I'm offering like 80 grand a week, so I'm getting half decent guys. I've got.
Where was your 50 grand cap gone?
Oh mate, I blew that out the window with Bora Mayoral, and then I signed. Who did I sign? Hector Bellerin. Brought him in right back. So mate, when you sign Premier League players, they're on 80 grand a week.
I know, yeah.
Plus.
Plus money, innit?
Bakayoko from Chelsea, I brought him in holding midfield. Yeah, most of these I got on frees as well.
I love that free agent.
You can spend. We was talking about this. You can spend what 2 hours?
Yeah, just
at the start of a new season, just going on to free agents and searching all the free agents.
Do you know Gareth Bale signing for Famalico, the very first club I had in this? I was in Reno career. I checked the other day. He's still at Famalico.
The golf courses, mate. The golf courses are running.
Yeah, they're both still there.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I've got a decent squad now. My back line's good. I've got that Bartra that used to play at Arsenal. So I've got 2 ex-Arsenal guys in my back 4.
Yeah.
So I've got Bellerin on the right and that Mark Bartra on in right centre back.
Right.
So they marry up. If you do an ultimate team, they'd marry up nice. Do you know what I mean? Who did I get left back? I got I can't remember. Oh, I brought in 2. So I brought in Luis. I can't remember what he's called. From Juventus, Brazilian left back. Brought him in on a free, but he's like 34 now. But
get that experience in
still
in Europe.
And then I signed Duarte on a free as well, who's come from Deportivo La Coruña. So
I love trying to find the youngsters.
Yeah.
And what we now know is regens.
Yeah.
Like the guy I bought, the guy I got.
The Ronaldo
one.
Yeah.
And the ones I got previous was that Famalico with no money. You can find some proper little ballers in there. Like next to now, if you just do your research a little bit on it.
Yeah, I got.
It's exciting. Yeah.
So and then I beefed up the midfield a little bit. Beefed up the forward line. The formation that I play is a 4. What is it? I play a 4-2-3-1 ish. Kind of similar to what you do, but
do you know what? I don't know if you do. Whenever I go to a club, I have a notepad and pen, me, don't I?
Yeah.
And I write who is in what position.
Yeah.
And based on that's how I create my formation.
See,
from there,
I pretty much run with the same formation.
Yeah.
I'm like a Pep, so I'll go with the same formation at every club. So it's a 4-2-3-1, but it's more like a 4-4-2. So I have 2 centre midfielders. I don't have holding midfielders.
Right.
So 2 centre mids, box to box all day. Then I have a centre forward. So I have a 10 and a 9.
Right.
So and then I don't have left wing, right wing. I have left attacking midfield, right attacking midfield. So it's like a box.
Yeah,
Pretty much similar to what Rangnick
does. It's like a 4-2-2.
Yeah. 4-2-2-2. Well, 4-2-2-1-1.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. But I make sure that my left and right attacking midfielders are more offensive-minded guys who attack rather than technically players that get on the ball.
Use the fullbacks to bomb.
Yeah. So I keep them tight, and then my fullbacks work and whip the ball.
Do you know what's mad though? Like obviously, we go into FIFA like this, but playing Football Manager, too in depth for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like I think because it's too in depth, I'm like, I can't be after that sort of.
It's too much.
But like with FIFA, and you're like, oh, I wish they did this.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I don't want it to be too in depth.
Yeah. I think it just, for me, it meets a simple mind.
Yeah.
Nice FIFA.
It's just what
career
like just like you trading and stuff like that, just simple.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just gone.
I like the fact, I was chatting to an old friend of mine, and he's our age, and he plays well. He used to play FIFA religiously, then he come away from it totally. Didn't like it. Didn't like the gameplay. Feels like it's just the same every year. Pretty similar to what you said.
Yeah.
And then and then he got this one, got his PS5, got it free with his PS5, and he was like, do you know what? He didn't play it for months, and he only started playing it last month. So it's like halfway into the season, and he's gone. You know what? It's pretty much the same, but the career mode's a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think
100%.
The fact that you can jump in and out the games. Like I like playing the games. You like.
I like managing. Yeah.
Voting.
But then if we're getting dicked off like Cadiz or something, it's like, right, get in.
Yeah.
Get in.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of manager career modes, we're going to start off with Lovey's Tales, and we're going to go Roy Keane.
Yeah, well, it's fitting to go with him, innit? Because like, if you're somebody that's listening to this podcast that's just listening to it however and whenever, when we're recording it, he's just about to maybe go back to Sunderland.
He had a little smirk over the weekend anyway when he got asked.
Yeah, well, I didn't see.
Did
see
you not?
No.
Was it, I think Friday night when United got done over by Middlesbrough. Awful. Just another one on the embarrassing list, but they asked him and he just had that little smirk about it.
Just to say it's coming.
Yeah, and if he does, obviously, if they achieve anything that they achieved last time.
Well, yeah, like it's mad because I remember looking into this and seeing like what qualified him to get the job in the first place, because they'd just been relegated into the Championship, and that it was around the time when now Quinn was the chairman. But he was pretty much, and Bobby Charlton, he was the chairman manager. You know, like Kes.
Big Kes.
So he was like, he'd sacked the manager, and then ended up getting them relegated. And then he was the chairman, and he needed the manager, so he became the chairman manager. And he
put himself up front as well.
I'll just do it, yeah. So he did that, and they just struggled, and he got smacked, didn't they? I think, but it was like November time when he took over, wasn't it?
Yeah.
September, end of October, beginning of November, I think. And he took over and he was bottom of the league, 20 points from playoffs. There was.
It's a mad shout, isn't it?
20 points from playoffs. All it was is
you're taking over at that point. Just think like
survival.
Yeah.
If we finish in the top half, I've had a good run. I can build from that. But mate, it was mad because like even though like you can imagine what his managerial style will be.
Well, you've heard little whispers now, don't you? Like coming out. Like some people I've heard are like Anton Ferdinand was saying something the other day, and they were like bang on best like man management. Then you got others who were like it was shit, or he didn't bother because and couldn't understand why we weren't as good as
he was.
Yeah.
And I think it's all based on the mindset of the individual more than anything. Like it's got nothing to do with like how it seems like the type of guy. Excuse me. He seems like the type of guy to treat everybody the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, because like you might have to switch it up a little bit with each person you come to, but I think he treats everybody the same in the respects, in the means to that he's just honest with them. Yeah. He's on the nose with them, so he doesn't really.
And like, this is what I expect. If you're not up to the standard,
then improve. Or you're not what we want. Not what we're looking for. He did bring a few players in. Anyway, so what he did was he went on a 17-match unbeaten run, and there was 14 wins, three draws. So he's took over.
It's not bad that at all.
Sorted it out, brought his players in who he needed to. So I'm going to read a little bit because I didn't prepare properly. So there's a little bit of reading that I'm going to be doing. But some of it's pretty funny, to be fair. So he reunited with now Quinn, who was his former international teammate, who was one of the group of guys who, when he got exiled from the team in, was it the USA? Was it USA Night? No, it was Korea. Yeah, Korea. 2002. Yeah, 2002. They had the worst quarters, so we stuck up for him, and all the players was like, yeah. And Quinn was one of them. Yeah, we need to say something. We need to say something to Mick McCarthy. So he's gone and said something. Everyone just went quiet. Yeah. And he got sold down the river, and then he ended up going, well, why would I play for a team that I'm trying to back? Yeah. So they've been reunited after all of that, and it was mad because he signed a 3-year deal immediately, straight away. Come in, they offered him a 3-year deal, and bearing in mind he's never managed anybody before, so this is just based off the credentials as the guy that he is. After Sunderland's victory over West Brom on the 28th of August, the first win in the 2006-2007 season, after a proper terrible run where Quinn was doing what he was doing. They were second from bottom in the table. Keane chose to enforce changes quickly. His first action as manager was deciding to keep the existing assistant manager Bobby Saxton, and then appointing his former Nottingham colleagues Tony Laughlin as head coach. He wasted no time in bringing in new additions to the squad as well, with a total of 6 players signing on the final day of August transfer window. So he took over just at the end of the August transfer window, so it wasn't November. I always thought it was November.
I thought it was like, I thought it drifted a bit.
Yeah. The most notable signing from Keane's former team, Man United, was Dwight York, Liam Miller. It's mad, because what he did with Dwight York is he played Dwight York in midfield.
Yeah, he did. I remember that,
He played him centre mid, didn't he? Liam Miller, supported by former Celtic colleague Ross Wallace, Stanislas Varga, as well as Wigan Athletic pair Graham Kavanagh and David Connolly. So players that he knew.
Yeah.
And
knew what he could get out of him.
His spine, innit?
Yeah.
And that's his core of his team. His first 2 games as the manager couldn't have gone much better. First coming from behind to beat Derby 2-1, following and then followed by an easy 3-0 victory over Leeds United. Sunderland began to steadily creep up the table. Keane's management, and by then turn of the year, it escaped bottom half of the league. So further 5 players were signed during the January transfer window into 2007. 3 of them: Andy Stokes, Carlos Edwards, who ended up being a legend for him, by the way. Carlos Edwards, didn't he?
Goalkeeper.
No, winger, black guy,
right.
winger.
No.
Carlos Edwards, Stern John, all on permanent contracts. Johnny Evans on loan, Danny Simpson on loan from United, from his old club. This resulted in Keane continue to improve the squad. This was rewarded with a February-March Manager of the Month awards, while his team began to challenge automatic promotion places. Meanwhile, Keane tackled his players' non-professional approach with a firm hand. When 3 players were late to the team for a game against Barnsley in March 2007, he simply left them behind. So they got to the coach, he looked at him, shut the door, drove off and left him. Doesn't name the 3 players, which would be
It was like that story with Ian Wright, weren't it, for dinner?
Oh, mate.
Yeah, he turned up 2 minutes later, Keane's gone.
Yeah, and Ian Wright was like, I was here, you didn't say you weren't there, and he was like, no, he was late. But he says if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So in other words, nobody's ever on time for him. Madlet, Sunderland secured promotion, along with Birmingham City on the 29th of April, when rivals Derby were beaten by Crystal Palace the week later. Then the championship title was sealed, and Sunderland revealed Keane was a complete manager for the team. His achievements also earned him a Championship Manager of the Year award. So that just tells you what he did for that team.
Yeah.
He took them from
turned them around.
end of August, just before the transfer window closed, took over the club, flipped them, and then turned them into the winners. Won the title.
Yeah.
Took him, with his philosophy and the way he does it, and it will have been with the core of players that will bring in.
Yeah.
Is the low points in the next season? Got smacked at Goodison Park. Was beaten 7-1 by Everton, which Keane described as one of the lowest points of his whole career, including his football. It just started to go. But his first season, he managed to survive relegation, and then the second season, he started poorly. Beginning of the 2008-2009 season, and it just
died off.
Yeah, it just died off for him, and I think it was because of the players that he brought in started to drift off.
Yeah.
So in that second season, when he was in his first year in the Prem, he brought in Kieran Richardson, Paul McShane, Danny Higginbottom, Phil Bardsley.
Loads of ex United again, weren't they?
Yeah, he also continued his strict disciplinary policy by putting Liam Miller, one of the guys who helped him win the title. He ended up just getting rid of him, and he just did lots of it was like stern management, but with a core of people who understood his management style.
Yeah, he could trust them and like, this is what I expect you. This is how you bring the rest of the players up. Basically.
Yeah, and it makes reading that and remembering all that stuff just makes you think that has he been out of the game too long?
Yeah, so he's been in and out with Martin O'Neill, hasn't he? At Aston Villa.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think being a number 2.
Ireland, stuff like that.
I don't think being a number 2 is the same.
I think we alluded to it the other week with Brian Clough.
Yeah.
Like that type of manager that like, this is what it is. End of. It's past its sell by date now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's going to link in really nice. Watch this, Lovey. Youth players now are so pampered that they can't take that sort of criticism, can they?
No.
So leads on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Should we bring back the reserves?
100% we should bring back the reserves.
Because I mean, obviously, you've been a player.
I've been in the youth academy. I've been in the reserves and that. Yeah.
I was just Manchester League Saturdays, so that was me. But you'll kind of know, obviously, like now, it's you don't have your reserves. Like the kids don't play with adults as such. You know what I mean? I know it's 16, 17, but they don't play with men, do they?
No.
They're playing with their own, and it's like everyone's wrapped in cotton wool a little bit, and that is, I think we were saying the other week, they're all media trained. They give them fuckloads of money. I mean,
sponsorship deals.
Probably a touchy subject, but Mason Greenwood, look at him, how entitled he thinks he is at such a young age. Like to be able to
not just him, all of them.
Yeah,
all of them.
Just to think this is what I'm having, and you see the cars are driving, houses. At 19, 20 and stuff.
Do you know what's
like
mad? I remember that year, the class of 92, you can't win anything with kids. They all came into the United squad and they was all playing, and by midway into the season, these guys were household names.
Yeah.
They're still driving around in escorts.
Well, Fergie was like, this is the Kyle driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit like Clough.
Yeah.
Thing
But
I've heard of,
I think that,
this is your level.
I think that needs to come back a little bit, and I think bringing back the reserves instills that, because you're going to be playing with fringe players, professional fringe players that are itching to get back into the first team, or guys that are coming back from injury, and you're playing in, I hate this saying, but you're playing in a man's game with men.
Yeah.
And what you'll learn there is you're not the big ego in that pact.
No.
You'll get told what to do, and you'll earn your stripes. Whereas in this development nonsense now, what they've got, and I think it is nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you need to get to a point where when you're 19 years old, you need to be mixing it with you need to be mixing it with bigger, stronger individuals, because it's rare that some of them just burst onto the scene and are unreal for a long period of time. We're seeing it with Rashford at the minute. Yeah. Like he come in from a development squad, he got through into it because of injuries. He just blew up, did unreal, and now he's having the mentality issues and the struggles of now what, like I'm not what do I do now?
Yeah, because they've got to come in, and then you see the youngsters, they've got to then beef up, because they've been playing with the same age, and you've got a 34-year-old defender who's just going to kick lumps out of you, who's obviously, we'll call him a proper bloke, but do you know what I mean? Bill, he's matured, and this little kid's just going to be bouncing off him. If you had the reserves as it was, plus as well for us, like when we were younger, you could go and watch the reserves play, and you might see like a Cannara or like a Solskjaer or someone who'd coming back from injury and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, like. But sprinkle.
The thing is what didn't change then? So when I was in a youth team, and YTS back then, when I was in a youth team, that never went away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was there was you had your youth clubs, youth teams, so you had your under 16s, 17s, under 18s, under 19s, but then you had the reserves.
Yeah.
And then what happened there was you're coming in to the reserve, like what you want to do at under 19 level, you want to break into the reserves and start playing for the reserves on a regular basis.
That's why if you look at now, the prime of a player used to be 28, 29. Now we're talking like 22, 23. Because obviously, like I said, you got in the reserves, and then you got in the proper and the first team.
But then another issue, or another problem, what might come across without no reserve teams and doing development squad, when you do get to 21, 22, 23, you're going to have to go all the way down into semi-pro football, because you've not got reserves to go into.
No.
You haven't got and you're not good enough to go into the first team, so you're not in that squad. You can't stay in the development squad.
Grey area, isn't it?
It's weird.
Point.
Yeah.
Remember chatting to Josh? Remember when Josh was on a radio show ages ago, and he was in Blackburn Academy, and they sent him out to Ramsbottom on loan when he was about 19 or something, 18, 19, to basically get a taste of proper football. He said it was the best thing he'd ever done. He absolutely loved it. You know, like the physicality of it all. Yeah. And he went in, but he said, leading up to that, you play nice football. Your kicks out for you. I mean, they're not cleaning boots. They're not. They're not learning.
No, not like we was. Yeah.
I mean, like obviously on the side of all this, I'm a builder. I have a youngster with me. Yeah. He's going making my brews. He's going doing all dog shit jobs to learn the values of doing all that. And you don't get that if I was to take one and go, yeah, mate, here's 150 quid a day, and like, you know, give him the status that I'm at after doing it for 20 odd years. And it's the same with any type of job. So if they're not cleaning boots or getting shirts out, or like, you know, getting a bit of tip money off Alan Shearer, you know, that type of thing, like, oh, he was a good payer, he was a good payer.
Yeah.
There's none of that, is there?
No, there's nothing.
And I can't see like how, like, if you was a youngster, you're not allowed in the first team dressing room. Like, because I've heard stories of you're not allowed in, but now I think because all kids have got a bit of an ego, and a bit of an attitude.
And the thing is, you it wouldn't, if somebody's going to say, yeah, but these development squads are good because they get to train with the first team. But when you was YT, when you was a youth team player, and then there was a reserve team, the reserves trained with the first team anyway. Yeah. It wasn't separate. They didn't train separately. It was just what the reserve league was a chance for players that aren't playing regularly to play in. Now, I think, and then on the flip side of it, imagine being an older player and you're not like, Danny Drinkwater is a prime example, right, at Chelsea. He's gone to Chelsea.
He's still at Chelsea?
Captain, I don't know where he is now, but captain of Leicester, won the Premier League, unreal, signed for Chelsea, didn't get a game. He was in the reserves, but he wasn't, because there's no such thing as a reserves anymore. So guess what he was playing in? The development squad with a load of 21 and 23 year olds. Yeah. Like, for him, how do you expect that guy to get back to his best form?
Yeah.
Without, and he can't go on loan because he's on too much money. So any team that's Burnley, that's around low to mid-level top league, can't afford his wages that Chelsea have just forked out for him because they wanted him, because he's just done an unreal job at Leicester and won the league. Like, he's now a player like him is now sitting in limbo, just like Jesse Lingard. He's not playing games, so he's having, at 27 years old, he's having to play with 19 and 21 year olds, or whatever it is, 21 to 23 years olds. Like,
just to keep a bit of an edge.
Look at when he went on loan to West Ham, what that did for him. Yeah. It gave him an instant boost. Like, I think that it might help the younger players, but it hinders the older players that are just sitting in a squad like your Phil Joneses, aren't getting many games, but are having to play to keep the minutes up, to get the minutes in and keep the fitness levels up with a load of kids, which they won't be going all out.
Plus as well, there's no competitiveness.
That's what I was just going to say.
They've got a league, they've got the reserves league,
they won't be competing. Well, there's the development squad league, but it's called the Premier League 2. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just have the reserves league. I think the reserves was a lot better. Yeah. You had all your age groups. You had your under 10s, under 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, under 19s,
work your way
under 21s, and then you had your reserve team. And then it gives you the chance to play with players that aren't getting games, like, which it means something to them guys. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, for me, the development side was a great idea, but I think what they forgot, and I think probably the biggest takeaway was, what they forgot was these guys in the middle that are 20 something, early 30s, that are just going to, I'm going to be playing with kids now until my contract runs out. Nice one. Because there's no drive for a player like that. There's no, what is there?
Yeah, just sat around taking the dough.
Yeah.
Especially when a club comes in, the next one, club comes in, bankrolls it.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously the very first one for us was Chelsea, weren't it, really, in like the Premier League era.
Yeah.
Like, so they've spent loads on the youth academy, but they're not asked if a player sat on the bench because of the amount of money that's there. Sitting obviously the next one, Newcastle is the newest one.
Yeah.
They're not bothered, are they? So like that kind of sets that standard for everyone else of like, oh right, well they're doing it, we'll just pay them to do now, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just wear the badge.
I'm happy with them sitting there.
Yeah.
As long as they're not playing for anyone else and they don't hurt us.
Yeah.
Then and I think every team that comes into money, I think that they inherit that kind of mantra or whatever. They go, like, Chelsea was if you look at Chelsea's youth, how many people they've got on loan at the minute, it's ridiculous.
I remember writing, because I used to write for a football website, and we used to go on about loan watch at Chelsea. Mate, there was about 40 odd of them.
Yeah, they've probably got still now 40 players.
And they just buy players, and there was one guy, he was there, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, longest serving Chelsea player, right? Never played one game for him.
Yeah. Is that Lewis Barker or Lewis Baker, whatever he's called?
Is he saying now?
He's he's been at Chelsea for as long as I can remember, and everybody was like, he's a rising star, future England international. He's played in Holland. He's played everywhere.
Yeah.
He's not. I think he's.
But I think if you're not using him,
just let them go. Yeah. Just but then again, that kid ain't getting that money anywhere else.
No.
So it's hard for him to go somewhere and take a pay cut when in his mind at a young age, you know what it was like when you're in your late teens, early 20s. Everything's materialistic. You want the fastest car, you want the nicest car. You need money to do that. So and you want to be able to tell people how much money you're on and how much you're earning.
Playing for, I don't know, Grimsby Town is as attractive to someone as I'm playing for Chelsea. Well, are you playing? No, I'm not.
I'm not. But yeah.
I'm like walking around with your Chelsea stuff. So leads on, pro or con with these clubs getting bankrolled.
No, I like it.
I think there's a lot more. I think for me the pros are like Newcastle coming through, be exciting. I was actually chatting to a Newcastle fan the other day. He's really excited for next season on the basis that they stay up this year. But it brings another team into the mix, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because for too long, obviously, as a United fan, it was great for us. But it was only ever us and Arsenal, or us and Chelsea. And then we went us and City. And then we just basically disappeared off the Premier League earth. We need bankrolling ourselves.
That was you and West Ham.
But it was a 2-horse race and you had your top 4. But now it's like, you brought a load of money in, and like I say, Newcastle can come in for their fans. Obviously, you're a City fan, you've experienced it firsthand from going from Division 2, and then next minute this guy comes in and goes, as Rubinho.
Yeah, well, it's mad. It's mad because like loads of City fans will say this. It was stupid to say it was a lot more entertaining when you was struggling, fight. Like I remember going to Main Road watching City and just not knowing if you're going to get spanked 5-0 or you was going to nick a win. And you play against like Newcastle, Andy Cole would be there, and you'd be like, look at all these stars. Like, I could only dream of City having these stars in the squad and them scoring, and then you go on the bus on the way home eating your chipper. You just in your head, you're like, wow, mate, we just got a point.
Yeah.
Like, just buzzing, pure excitement. I don't know if it was because I was a kid, or because it was so hard to get points back then. Like I can imagine, like at Burnley, like getting a couple of points or beating a big hitter. Yeah. That's like your Premier League title.
Your season.
Yeah. And like, then it started as it started to flip. I think like a really good part was we started to get that money. We was like that Rubinho signing, and then we just rinsed Arsenal's squad because they were seasoned winners. So we just bought all Arsenal's players. We started to then just buy every second best and best player in the Premier League. Like was like, right, we'll have him, so that they've not got him. And they kind of just like
a monopoly, innit?
They kind of just liquidated each team around them, and you'll notice that Newcastle have done that now. Yeah. So Newcastle have got, but Newcastle needs to survive. They're not looking at Europe or anything yet.
Really well. Everyone's blitzed about. I think they're clever.
And what they needed to do was they've got competition in and around that bottom third of the table. So what they've done is like, right, who's going to save them? Right, so if we take Burnley's striker, they're one man down. They needed to bring in a striker to replace him, who's been there for years.
Have you seen their striker? Wolfsburg guy. He's mint as well.
Yeah, he's good. But they've done good business there in such short time. So Newcastle have gone, we'll bring him in, because then we've eliminated their goal threat. Then we'll look at bringing a midfielder in from somewhere. That eliminates them creating chances that are in and around us. Then we'll bring in Kieran Trippier, who just elevates the squad on another level. And then we'll go and dip into France and sign a guy who just wants to be in the Premier League, who's technically good. So they've built their squad up around. And City did it. What they did was, if you remember, we signed the likes of Alano, players on that level. And what they did was they competed with your mid-table teams so that we was better than them. And then they went to that level. And then the next step was, right, we need to break into the top 4. Who's got players that we can take that are near the end of their contracts, that are not happy at the club, that are in that top?
It's clever.
Arsenal.
Clever.
Mate, Chelsea did the same. Look at Chelsea, they rinsed all of West Ham's players, and then they started to pick from everywhere else. Do you know what I mean? And then when you get to the top, when you're the best, like, you then can be selective and bringing in elite players to make your team better year on year.
It's just building. I think Newcastle have a massive summer transfer.
It depends where they are.
I think they'll stay up.
Do you think?
But I think then they'll just go, right, boom, let's have a go at it.
Well, yeah.
But I just don't. I think Eddie Howe isn't that type of manager.
But
doesn't fit the bill of he's going to take him to Premier League.
But he fits what they need right now.
Yeah.
And at the moment, and City was the same, Chelsea was the same. That's why the managers changed so frequent. Like City had Mark Hughes. He did an unreal job. He got us into our first European competition for a long time.
He bought you some decent players as well.
The Europa League. Did they? Like, that's what I would say. He was there when them players was bought. I don't think he's gone. Vincent Kompany's
identified him.
Yeah, I don't think that was the case, because what City did was, and if you look at the back room, behind the scenes at City now, it's all ex-Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and that was all geared up to bring Pep in and get Pep ready and bring the type of players that Pep need to play his style of football. I think there was giving.
Pep was on a sabbatical.
I reckon that he was doing that when Mark Hughes was there. And they was like, right, we need a marquee signing, Robinho, sweet, we'll bring him in. Now we need some more players to compete with this. And then they started to look at, like, they brought in De Jong and they brought in Kompany, both from Hamburg. Like, I don't think that's a player that Mark Hughes has gone, see them two, they'll make City well better. Like, I don't think he would have.
I'd love for Mark Hughes. Wait, hang on a minute.
He might have done.
I scouted him to death.
Mate, I hope so, because I love Mark Hughes as a City manager, I really did. But like, I think that behind the scenes there was a lot more in. I think that's why United are in a mess at the minute, because they haven't got anybody that's going right. I think that's why Rangnick's coming.
Yeah.
Because I think he's just helping you to the end of this season. His philosophy and the style that he wants to play, I don't think that's going to get inherited by anybody else. But what I think he is really good at is going right.
Identifying
these players will meet this. So the new manager will come in and go, right, this is my philosophy, this is my style. They probably already know who he is. It's probably going to be Pochettino by the sounds of things. And then they'll go, that's the style of football he plays, that's the players that he wants. I'm Rangnick, I'm unreal at this, these are the ones that you're having, and they'll just move upstairs. And I think that's when you get that type of money that we're talking about, Chelsea money, City money, now Newcastle money, PSG money. You get PSG have got Leonardo, they brought him in and he was like, right, this is what we play, these are the players that we'll need. And we'll bring him in. He might not be right, but we've got the money to just go shift to the side until your contract runs out.
Well, Pep did it with goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Right backs as well, then full backs.
Yeah.
And if you've got that sort of fuck you money as such,
yeah,
you can do it, can't you? And I just think it brings excitement one for the fans, like, because if you look at it, City fans obviously, like, from where you were, to then Newcastle fans have had fucking. Remember, like, I think the FA Cup we beat them. On memory, it might have been a recent one, but I think 99 last time they got to a cup final.
Possibly.
Any final.
I remember I've been watching on the TV some old school Champions League games. I remember when he was in the Champions League for a little while.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
Jesus.
That's what they want to get back to, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But it's mad for like someone to come in and take over like a Newcastle. You want to go, oh yeah, we'll pick that team.
But I think that's a good shout, Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's a one-town team. It's
Yeah.
massively followed. They've been getting 50 plus thousand fans a week, regardless.
Yeah, just consistently at all times.
Yeah.
It's a big project, and they're like a sleeping giant, aren't they? As such.
Yeah.
But I say a sleeping giant. I don't remember a time Newcastle ever dominated in history.
No.
I think they're just a big club because of the fan base more than anything. It's probably going to get me a load of shit. But I don't like Liverpool, Leeds.
Yeah, you mean if you come out of the town and you go into another country, is somebody going to go, Newcastle United? Oh, mate, they're unreal.
No, but I mean, over the years, like Liverpool 80s, you had obviously United dominated, Leeds dominated.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea were alright for a little bit. Nottingham Forest. You know, you had teams and eras that have dominated. I don't remember a time Newcastle have ever won multiple Division 1 titles, or they maybe won an FA Cup here and there. So not like a mad sleeping giant, but everyone talks about them as if they're like an Arsenal who have won loads of trophies and then like they've died off.
Yeah, because they're a bit of a nearly team, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it. But I'm to answer your first question, I'm for investment and people coming into teams. I think it filters down clubs. And I think it saves a lot of lower league clubs, because if a big club comes in and they've got money, they'll then spend it at other clubs within the league, and then that will then get passed down for clubs. So if City buy, or if Newcastle buy, like they bought a player from Burnley, and Burnley have just had an investment as well, so they're probably not shy of money anymore. But then Burnley can spend that money on a replacement.
Yeah.
Whereas if Newcastle did take over, guess what? Burnley wouldn't have been buying that guy,
Yeah.
who's probably going to be better than Woods in the long term. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's healthy. I don't think it ruins. I don't think it ruins the game.
I think like we have, we've only mentioned 3 over the past what. I always forget what year we're in and how many years. Because if you say to me how many years ago were the 80s, it's like 20. It's about 40 or 30 years. I don't even know now. But 30 years. But over the Premier League era, there's only been 3 teams really that have been bankrolled, and I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Do you mean any more than a seasonally basis or a bi-seasonal basis?
I don't know, because
it's just end up like a Super League basically, just a monopoly.
But I don't know, because of the fair play and because like you can only spend what you earn.
Yeah.
Like and they're clamping down on all of that stuff as well. I know that City's cut loads of corners with it. Like, yeah, this has cost us. This stadium has been sponsored by 500 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've never give that money, and it's your company that have paid you. Yeah, well.
Yeah, I'm looking at technicalities.
Yeah. But we have got the money though, and I think that. Because of that, and because of the capping and stuff like that, and I think that it wouldn't matter. It just put everybody on a level playing field, pretty much like American football. So American football, each franchise is owned by multi-billionaires.
Yeah, true.
And all of those franchises each year have a turn of winning something. You don't have an outright winner like you do in football. No. You don't have a Bayern Munich dominating a league for 7 years, winning the title 7 years on the bounce. You don't have a PSG,
Juventus.
A Juventus, well, Juventus 7 years on the bounce, winning the league until Inter Milan broke the bank to beat them, and then had to sell everybody because they didn't have enough money to continue. You don't get that in the NFL. You don't have teams folding and stuff like that. Not even in the MLS. In the last 15 years, you've not seen an MLS team come in and fold. But how many teams have you seen in English football go, ugh, we've got no money?
Yeah, we're scared.
Yeah, look at Derby now. Like, do you know what I mean? If an investor come in and went, boom, there's X amount of million, it just levels the playing field. If everybody can afford anybody, then the player will choose the club that he likes best, which is like basketball, American football. Do you know what I mean?
It does see a high turnover of managers, unlike this guy, who has the longest football manager save in history, right? As of the guess, and I can't remember if I've told you I know now, as of the guess how many seasons he dedicated to Football Manager.
I think you did tell me. I think you said 100, was it?
No, 333 seasons.
Wow.
On one continuous save. Now, I was beefing last night because FIFA claimed only do 15 seasons. And this guy's done 333.
And what was it on?
On Football Manager. So basically...
That's relentless, that. Everyone's retired 4 times over. Like, what, who are you signing? You don't even know him?
No, well, that's it. So he started his save, Football Manager 2018, in December 2017. Right. So he started his save then. Completed 333 seasons and one continuous save. He was playing mostly at weekends and across 2 different continents, as he was working in Africa at the time. Right. So basically, he works in Africa, no family, no friends, working by himself. I don't know the backstory of why he was there. So he just thought, stuff it, I'll just start playing. Yeah. And ends up, I think, what does it say here? Reached 1,940 hours of gameplay. Didn't simulate any matches. Didn't take no holidays. I don't understand that. I don't understand the point of playing a Football Manager game and then going on holiday. Like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going for 2 weeks in Tenerife. I'll be back. Like, you're not going to do that. You just continue.
Just play it when you play it on a flight.
I don't get that one person. Maybe Football Manager people can tell me why you take holidays on a simulated football game. I don't know.
Makes no sense.
But he only managed 3 different clubs. Started out FC United.
Yeah.
Then went to, this is going to be fun, Bengaluru FC in India, and then came back to England with Hereford FC. Played 15,768 matches, winning 11,217.
And like, what year did he start it? Does it say?
So with the 2017.
Right.
He started it, so I can't do that maths.
Right, no, but so he started it in 2017 and he played all of them seasons, 300 seasons. And he got Hereford to the Prem, I'm guessing.
So he said he liked to develop smaller teams. So he started off with FC United, and they won their first Premier League in 2037 after 6 consecutive second places. He basically won everything. He beat Atletico Madrid in the Champions League 2037, and then he goes over to Bengaluru, who's over in India. I've never heard of him myself, have you?
No.
He reached the AFC Champions League in 2075, 2,246 and 2,255 in 57 seasons. And then he went back to Hereford in a challenge to dethrone his former club, FC United of Manchester. But because he said, I didn't realise I was insanely strong, I developed him, so it was really hard to beat him. But I finally managed it in 2,289. These years just sound mad, don't they?
Yeah.
Like
the maddest thing about all of that is, mate, I don't know if anybody else that listens is going to say exactly the same thing as what I'm saying is, how's he lived all of them years as that manager?
Do you know what? That was funny because I was looking last night and I was like, I'm into my Jose Mourinho career and I'm in year 28, I think, 2028, 29. And this guy was like, what happens when you enter career mode? And he said, it's shocking because I've played 15 years and I've not aged a day.
Yeah, you can't look but you can change the way you look still, can't you?
Yeah.
So that's good. But at least with FIFA, like 15 years, retired, done and dusted, he's older now, apart from Roy Hodgson, who's still cracking.
Yeah.
But like, I understand why they put a cap on it, because in their head they're probably like, let's get it right. They're not going to be managing for 35 years, are they? They're going to fall off, they can't be bothered anymore. Whereas this guy,
it's just got extreme.
If he's 32 and he's just done 300 seasons on Football Manager, the guy's 400 years old. Like, how has he done that? How has the game allowed him to be that old? Because it'll say his stats and it'll say his age. Like 486 years. Like, not only is he the most decorated football manager on God's green earth, but he's also the oldest human being that's ever. He's 100% an alien. Like, he isn't a human being, this guy.
That is mad. He said his outstanding performer of his 333 season save was a regen called Fernando Robles, who scored 427 goals in 587 matches, which leads me to careers. Right, we'll speak about it. If you was to nail one career mode on any platform over the years, one, who's like the player that you've been attached to the most, and two, what is the team that you like? God, that was a good save, that.
Mate, it's mad because just before we jumped on, I was only thinking FIFA, but I remember one now that popped into my head, and I couldn't, mate. It was because I was so young. It was a Sega Saturn.
Right. Oh,
so it was a football game on Sega Saturn. I can't remember what it was called. Like, I honestly don't remember the name of the game. But I think me and my cousin used to call it 90, whatever it was, 98. That's what we used to call it, because it had loads of names: Superstar International, Superstar Soccer.
Yeah.
So we just called it 98. And it was the first football game that had all of, like, more than one league. So, like, you had, I don't know if you remember, they had the Ryan Giggs football game, and that just had Wales. You had to just be Wales. And then, like, you had the FIFAs and it had the old school games, and it was FIFA International, so it was just all international teams. But this come out and it had England, so it had the top league in England, the Premier League, then it had top league in France, top league in Germany, top league in Italy, top league in Spain. So it had your 5 top leagues, Germany as well, your 5 top leagues. And I was like, wow, this is mad. And it had all the licensing, all the right kits, everything. And I just scrolled through, and I was like, right, randomed it, went to France, Nantes. It wasn't like it's not like a Football Manager game. You couldn't move from club to club. So your career, whoever you are, that's who you be. And I chose Nantes, and I played that until the seasons was done. And I just remember how good that was. Like, the yellow kits, you know what I mean? The yellow and the green kits. Like, I was someone else, other than just being the English teams or the national teams that I've always ever have been. And it was a mint career. Won the league multiple times. You couldn't get relegated because there was no relegations. It wasn't that advanced. I can't remember who my favourite player, who the best player on there was, but I just remember really enjoying playing that career and just being Nantes all the way through. Most I think you end up following the team that you bust off.
You do get like me now with like Famalicão.
Yeah.
I'll just keep my eye out.
They got smashed the other day.
Yeah, I can't remember who they played to be fair, but I know like I've spoke to. I did a little docu-series on random like people who. So I said, I think there's a Japanese guy who supports Stockport, and it all comes from playing this Football Manager or FIFA, and they have like a little bit of an allegiance. Now he comes over and like watches Stockport once a year, which is like a celebrity when it comes up. Everybody wants to, and then he's trying to like recruit Stockport fans over there. It's madness.
It is mad because, like I said, like for a good 5 to 8 years, I just used to keep an eye on Nantes to see how they was doing and see who the top players was and that. What was yours?
Mine for LMA Manager. I just love that game. This is why I love FIFA now so much because it reminds me basically of LMA Manager. 2007 took over West Ham in a bid to like bring some good times. Ended up spanning 10 years with them. Won everything like Premier League, Champions Leagues, top dog. But I remember that was the first time in my little book, which I need to dig out. I started recording goals. As in like tallies at the end of the season.
Top goal scorer.
Dean Ashton and Karim Benzema up front out of my strike force. With Marlon Harewood, I think.
Marlon Harewood, yes.
And Dean Ashton was like my guy.
Top dog.
Yeah, he was there for 10 years. I think he smashed up my records in my book of everyone.
Do you know what? I remember who mine was, and this is a throwback name for old United fans. David Bellion was my top player at Nantes on that game. David Bellion. I can't believe it's just come to me then. You know why it comes to me? Because I was thinking about Marlon Harewood. And I was like, wow, he's a forgotten guy. And I was like, oh yeah, Bellion.
Bellion.
Yeah.
He was alright.
He was alright, yeah. He was a good player.
Did he go to Sunderland?
I don't know where he went. I just remember he was my standout guy for Nantes. Number 7, did the business for me. But yeah, it was just a class game, unreal, and it's mad how you get attached. And one thing to take from that, I did exactly the same as what you did. I was logging top goal scorers. Is this guy? I looked online to see who the top goal scorer of all time was. And then I try and help that guy become the next top goal scorer. Yeah? And I think that's one of my gripes with FIFA now. Like it's mint at the way it's logging its stats for the season. But when the season finishes, you don't know what your players' stats are for the time that they're with that club. I wish they'd be able to introduce that, because then you'd be like, right, I've got like my Malaga career at the minute. I've got Brandon Thomas, who's my top goal scorer, who I inherited. I took over Malaga and he was already there. He's my top goal scorer, my number 9.
So you just like to
but I want to see how many goals he'd scored before I took over, and how many I know how many he scored for me now because I'm there. But how
especially because it's only a 15-year career, so you'd think
you'd be able to log that.
To do that. Like I say, I've just took over Barcelona. So I don't know if they've won the league last year. They've not won the league for years. Like just that little bit of history, even if it's like with a memory or whatever it is, 3 seasons worth, so you kind of know. Oh, they've not won it in 3 seasons. You know, so for people who play career mode, it just adds that little bit because you're constantly sort of like not bringing it to the real world, but you're constantly like, right, I can take over these, and these haven't won it for X amount of years.
They've wasted. Well, we was moaning the other day when we was playing online against each other. They've wasted stats on that big massive thing they do at half time on full time, where it shows you that graph with
I don't even know anybody watches it.
Yeah, but like
all circles up and down the side.
Get rid of that and let me see what my players are doing. Because that determines whether I keep that player or not. If I'm like you, I have to record a record of it in my phone and my notes of how many games he's played, how many goals he's scored. Do you know what I mean?
Just a little bit,
just to know, because I want to know, like, is he worth getting rid of or not? Like,
and a little thing is like, if I brought a youth player through, like I did with Monaco, I brought some ballers through. I would just go back and go, how's he doing? Just like a bit of a wonderment of like, is he as good as I thought he would be?
Is he going to end up being the all-time top goal scorer? And I brought him into that team. He was my find. Like. Just add, mate, FIFA, and we're always doing this to FIFA, aren't we? But just FIFA, just add that stuff. You've got the PS5 now, so surely it can hold 15 years of data of players' careers and how long they've been at the club for.
There's so much in there. I'll just get rid of some stuff. Like Volta. And on that note, we're done. Another week over with. I tell you what, though, I know we've banged on FIFA a lot here, but I've got another couple of hours to spare now before I've got to pick the kids up straight onto Barcelona.
I'll be on it tonight. My Malaga career is absolutely firing at the minute. I don't want to leave him. They've never in their history, in real life, never in their history have they ever won the La Liga or the Copa del Rey.
I don't know.
Mate,
it's a Copa del Rey, hang on, because I'm quite new when it comes to La Liga. But I mean, obviously, first time I played in Spanish football. It's called Cup de España.
Yeah.
Right, that's Copa del Rey.
Copa del Rey is
right,
Cup
I'm
de
looking
España
and thinking, I've got to win that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's their FA Cup.
Right.
Their League Cup.
So, that's me aim this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to smash it, I can't wait. Right, we'll see you all next week.